Dr. Sarada. Hello, Dr. Sarada. Hello. So, sir, namaskar. Sir, mate ଶୁଣି ପାରୁଛନ୍ତି?
ହଁ ହଁ ନମସ୍କାର। ହଁ ଆମର ସେଭେନ୍ ସେଭେନ୍ଟା କେମିତି ହେଉଛି? ନମସ୍କାର। ସହିତ ଜୟନୀଟା କେମିତି ହେଉଛି?
ଗୋଟେ ମିନିଟ୍ sir. Sir.
डाकी दौर आज पूरा बड़ मीटिंग छेड़ दे ଆଉ କିଛି ନାହିଁ ଥିଲେ ଚଳ ମୋତେ ଡାକିବେ ହଁ ସାର୍ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଥିଲେ ତ ମଝିରେ ଓହୋ ଆଚ୍ଛା ମୁଁ ଦେଖିଦେଉଛି ନହେଲେ
Hello, Dr. Sarada. Good afternoon. Are you
ହେବା
hearing
କଥା
me?
ରହନ୍ତୁ ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ ତାର ଦେଖିଦେଉଛି ହଁ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଗଲେଣି ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ ହଁ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଗଲେଣି ଆଜ୍ଞା
Hello, Durga. Am I audible?
ତ ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ଙ୍କର କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟରରେ ହେଲା
ମତେ ଶୁଭା ଯାଉନି କିଛି।
ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ ମୋବାଇଲରେ କରିଛନ୍ତି ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ ମୋବାଇଲରେ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି ମୋତେ ଇୟରଫୋନ୍ରେ ଦିଅ ତ ମୁଁ ଲଗେଇକି ଦେଖେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏଠୁରୁ ଲାଗିଛି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏଠୁ
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Chairman PG Council, Professor Sachidanand Dehury, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Fakir Mohan University, Professor Madhumita Das Madam, has already joined us. We will very shortly start the inaugural session of this unique of its kind international webinar. Madam, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Ma'am, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Background
Welcome,
setting
welcome. Am I visible?
Yes, yes, ma'am, you are audible. Yes, visible as well
Okay,
as
okay,
audible.
okay.
Madam,
Okay,
background
okay,
setting
okay. Please.
You are audible and visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Good afternoon.
Good
Dr. Priya
afternoon.
this side.
Okay.
हाँ हेलो हाँ 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 देखो ना हाँ हाँ अच्छा अच्छा ହଉ
Dr. Jana, good afternoon.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Happy to see you with your net screen, etc.
हाँ
But
सर
can you set the background?
हेलो
No, sir, I am not set the
हेलो
background, sir.
हेलो
Kindly, sir, at this time, sir, kindly.
हेलो
Please give.
हेलो
Sir, namaskar, sir. Sir, namaskar. Sir, namaskar. Sir, namaskar.
नमस्कार नमस्कार आपको बंधु सर विष्णु सर देवरी बाबू नमस्कार समस्त
Sir.
नमस्कार
हाँ सर
Rolo, sir,
हाँ, ସେ ମୋବାଇଲରେ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି ହଁ ଏବେ ଜଏନ୍ କଲେ କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟରରେ ବି ଜଏନ୍ କଲେ ଏବେ କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟରରେ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି ଏବେ ହଁ 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 ଏବେ ଦେଖାଗଲେ ପୁରା ସେତେବେଳେ ମୋବାଇଲରେ କରୁଥିଲେ ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କଟି ଯାଉଥିଲା ହଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା ହଁ ଶୁଭାଗଲାଣି ଆଜ୍ଞା
टाइम केते की
Hello, Dr. Sarada.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you please help Professor Devi Prasad Misra to log in?
Okay. I'll call him.
Log into the system. Actually,
Okay.
yeah, probably he is in trouble.
Okay.
ବାକିରେ ଛୋଟ ଫୋନଟା ଟିକେ ଆଣିକି ଦେଖ।
ସେ ଛୋଟ ଫୋନଟା
କେତେ ଚାର୍ଜ ଅଛି?
We also welcome Professor Sasmita Samanta Madam. Madam has also joined us. Welcome you, ma'am, to this international webinar.
Sarda, salute, sir.
Yes, sir. Let me ask Devi sir whether has encountered it or not.
Sarada. Sarada. Hello. Hello, Sarada.
Ma'am, again.
Please ask Deputy Minister to join in his mobile.
Sir.
Good
Through mobile
afternoon, ma'am.
phone.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I'm calling him. Sir.
Okay. And then
Sir, password टा known है कि? Okay, sir. मत just 30 seconds दियंतु मैं resolve करछी. मत लागु 300 participant reach करिछि बोली problem होछि. देखो छी.
No. Only 112. That is all.
111 ତାହେଲେ ସାର୍ ଙ୍କର ଲଗଇନ୍ ହଉନି କାହିଁକି?
ନାଇଁ ସେ ଫାୟାର ରୁ ଯାଇଛି ନା, ସେ ଫାୟାର ରୁ କ୍ଲିକ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ ତାପରେ ପାସୱାର୍ଡ ଟା ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, ହେଇଯିବ। ସାର୍ ଫାୟାର ରୁ କ୍ଲିକ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ।
Ranjan sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
ନମସ୍କାର।
Namaskar.
ଭଲ ଅଛନ୍ତି?
Ha.
Sasmita ma'am, good afternoon.
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
ସାର୍ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଗଲେ?
ବଡ଼ ବାବୁ ନମସ୍କାର।
ସାର୍ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଗଲେ ଦେବି ସାର୍?
ଅନ୍ କରିଦେବି ମୋର ଭିଡ଼ିଓ।
ଦେବି ସାର୍?
ହଁ ହଁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇନି। ହଁ ସବୁଗୁଡ଼ା ଅଛନ୍ତି। ସେମାନେ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ଅନ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି, ବଡ଼ ବଡ଼ ଲୋକ ସେମାନେ। ଇଏ ଭାଇସ୍ ଚାନ୍ସେଲର, କିସ୍ର ଭାଇସ୍ ଚାନ୍ସେଲର। ହଁ ହଁ ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ ତ, ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ କାହିଁ ଗଲେ? ଏଇ ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍। ନୋବେଲ ପୁରସ୍କାର ବାଲା।
Devi sir will be shortly joining us.
What was the problem?
Sir, possibly his passcode was not functioning. So I just resolved the issue. I have sent another link through his email. So
ସାର୍ ହଁ ହଁ ମୁଁ ଲାଇଭ୍ ବି କରିଦେଇଛି। ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ପଚାର ସାର୍ କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଆଉ ଇଏରେ ଭୁଲ କରୁଥିବେ। ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ହଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ସାର୍ ଜୁମ୍ଟାକୁ ଟିକେ ଅପଡ଼େଟ୍ କରିଦେବେ। ଅପଡ଼େଟ୍ କରିଦେଲେ ହେଇଯିବ ଆପ୍ଟା। ଆଜ୍ଞା
ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ ଶାରଦା ଶାରଦା
Sir,
Sir, hello,
I know the joining status of
hello,
sir.
hello, Sarda,
Yes,
Sarda,
ma'am. Again, ma'am.
Sarda, let us start,
Okay.
and I will manage with the introduction. Also, my speech I will combine it together.
Okay.
Let
Okay,
us
ma'am.
skip. Let us
David.
skip. DP Mishra, we will skip it.
Okay. Now, in between,
Okay.
sir is also trying.
No, no, no. Let him
okay,
try.
okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, we will be beyond the schedule. So please,
Okay,
please
ma'am.
go ahead.
We can start. Okay, ma'am.
The because Professor Yunus will be on time.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Actually, ma'am, I was discussing with Arthur sir regarding joining of Honorable Member of Parliament Dr. Achyuta Samanta sir. So he may be shortly joining us.
No, he has sent a mail. He
No,
will
no,
not
he
join.
is not.
Okay,
He is
okay,
not.
okay, okay,
So
okay,
please go ahead.
okay, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
So a very good afternoon to everyone joined in this unique of its kind international webinar on navigating the COVID-19 pandemic, addressing the economic implications and launching a resilient recovery. When the whole globe is trying to unlock from the devastating scenario created by the COVID-19 virus, and in this endeavor, Fakir University Postgraduate Department of Commerce has initiated this 2 days international webinar, how to launch a resilient recovery. And this particular webinar has been blessed by the kind consent of Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate 2006 Nobel Peace Prize. In this endeavor, Fakir University has created a legacy by creating such a beautiful knowledge platform of galaxy of intellectuals along with one Nobel laureate, which is a history of its kind, that in this COVID-19 pandemic, the university has attempted its best to disseminate knowledge and empower the students community with the best of the art, that is online platform and dissemination of ideals, values through the knowledge can be transferred. And in this metaphor, Odisha Commerce Association has always been an indispensable component, sharing all the necessary inputs to create and to manifest the events, and thereby institutionalizing the values and the ethos of commerce education. The theme chosen for this particular webinar has been very vibrant, and without taking much delay, because Professor Muhammad Yunus will be joining us shortly and will deliver his address on time. So without taking much time, I request esteemed Chairman of Postgraduate Council of Fakir University, Professor Sachidanand Dehuri sir, to have his welcome address as the patron of this international webinar. Professor Dehuri, may I request you to have your address, sir?
Thank you, Dr. Sarada. Chairman is reaching to all.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
good afternoon and namaskar to all who are connected to this big and very web platform developed by Department of Commerce, Fakir Mohan University and Odisha Commerce Association. This is developed for navigating the COVID-19 pandemic with a special focus to address the economic implications and launching a resilient recovery. Esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Madhumita Das, Madam, Honorable Chief Guest of this international webinar, and Nobel laureate, Professor Muhammad Yunus sir. Shortly, sir will join. Honorable distinguished guest of today's webinar and founder of KIIT and KISS, PBSR, and Honorable MP Lok Sabha, Dr. Achyuta Samanta sir. Due to Parliament session, he is not in a position to join this webinar, but he has sent good wishes and very best success to this webinar. Professor Sasmita, Samanta Madam, respected honored guest Dr. S.A. Tahi, respected Professor Devi Prasad Misra, convener of this webinar and head of the Department of Business Management, Fakir Mohan University. Probably he will also shortly join in respected organizing secretary, Dr. Artabandhu Jena and his team members, respected other dignitaries, and all my dear and near colleagues, staff, and students. I am really privileged to have the pleasant task of welcoming the distinguished gathering of the 2 days international webinar. On behalf of the university and my own behalf, I extend you all a very warm welcome. We are truly delighted to welcome to Professor Yunus and Dr. Samanta to this platform. My heartiest congratulations to Professor Yunus sir, Nobel Peace Prize winner for his novel and path-breaking contributions for the society. We feel proud to get or sooner to get you, sir, in this platform. You know, we have conducted many national and international webinars so far in our university, but this webinar is a very special one, as because all our participants will get scope to interact with you, like you, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, Professor Muhammad Yunus. In addition to Professor Muhammad Yunus, in addition to learn many new concepts from speakers of nationally and internationally repute during these 2 days. You know, now the world is facing an unprecedented test, and this is the moment of the truth. Hundreds of thousands of people are falling ill from COVID-19, and the disease is spreading exponentially in places. Societies are in turmoil and economies are on a nose drive. The IMF has reassessed the prospects for growth for 2020 and 2021, declaring that we have entered a recession as bad as even worse than in 2009. I hope from this platform we will learn how we must respond decisively, innovatively, and also learn together to suppress the spread of this novel coronavirus and address the socio-economic devastation that COVID-19 is causing in all regions. The magnitude of the response must match the scale of the crisis. Further, to add flavor to my welcome address, it was time that I used to say in various platforms that this prevailing COVID-19 has damaged a lot in general in every sphere of our life. Some of the damages can be repaired, and a few of the damages cannot be repaired. On the other hand, it helps us to learn how to face a very big situation with solidarity and to think critically to explore alternative solutions to come out from this type of post situation. With this backdrop, let me briefly highlight our university. You know, this young and small and very beautiful Fakir Mohan University is named after Vyasakavi Fakir Mohan Senapati, a great poet, writer, philosopher, and social reformer. And it is established by the government of Odisha in the year 1999 and duly recognized by UGC. Since then, it is playing a significant role in imparting quality education along with disseminating international standard of research results. The university has been affiliated by NAC with B+ grade and also the Association of Indian Universities. Currently, the university is functioning in 2 campuses, the old campus located at Januganj and the new campus located at Wapadu. This university is offering about 20 PG programs in 18 different regular PG departments in addition to MPhil and PhD programs. Additionally, 96 colleges of Balasore and Bhadrak district who are offering UG programs and a few out of 96 are offering PG programs are affiliated to this university. A medical college and hospital also named after Fakir Mohan Senapati is affiliated to this university. So before concluding, I must draw the attention of all the participants that Our journey of getting a Nobel laureate in the virtual campus of Fakir Mohan University has just started. And in the forthcoming days, we are committed to provide you this type of platform so that you can expand your knowledge horizon and to bring glory to the university, not only to the university, and to Odisha and Odisha. In this platform, we have also an array of distinguished speakers. They will share their rich experiences over the years they have gathered with you, and I hope you will enjoy this with good spirit and healthy mind. Lastly, I would like to thank the faculty members of Commerce and Business Management for organizing such a very beautiful international webinar in collaboration with ICA. And finally, extend a special thank to Dr. Zena. Of course, he is very much affected with COVID-19, but he is rapidly recovering from the positive COVID-19 positive. So I pray God to recover early for his committed exercise for executing this webinar in a very smoother and harmonious way. With this, once again, namaskar to all. Vande Utkal Janani, Jai Hind.
Deuri sir, I have joined.
Okay, please, now your turn. Dr. Sarada.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for lucidly introducing university. Fakir Mohon University is in the march of human race, onward march of human race, and the event-centric institution which always tries to flowerize its knowledge fragrance to the whole of the world. In the corner of Odisha, the institution has become a truly global one in the last 20 years of journey. Now I welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor of Fakir Mohon University, Professor Madhumita Das.
No.
To be introduced by the convener, as Professor Devi Prasad Misra has already joined with very rich experience and spending more than 15 years with the Department of Business Management. Professor Misra is best fit to define the theme of this particular webinar and to introduce the guests of this occasion. I request Professor Devi Prasad Misra, Head of Department of Business Management, to have his guest introduction and theme introduction. Sir, please continue. Sir, please unmute yourself. I request Professor Misra to unmute, sir. Sir, please unmute.
Yes.
Yes, now you are audible.
Yes. Esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Madhumita Das, Madam, esteemed Chief Guest, Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate, esteemed Vice Distinguished Guest, Professor Achyuta, Samanta, Honorable Member of Parliament, esteemed Guest of Honor, Professor Sasmita Samant, Madam, Honorable Chairman, Postgraduate Council, Professor S.N. Deuri, respected Secretary, Odisha Commerce Association, Major Tahir, respected Organizing Secretary, Dr. Arthabandhu Janna, respected colleagues, respected resource persons, learned participants, and my dear students. At the outset, I extend my hearty welcome to all of you to this international webinar being conducted by the Department of Commerce, FM University. It is my privilege to introduce the dignitaries of the inaugural function. First of all, I would like to introduce our Vice Chancellor, Madam Madhumita, Professor Madhumita Das. Professor Das, before joining this university as Vice Chancellor in 2017, she was Professor in Geology at Utkal University. Professor Das did her MSc and PhD in Geology from Utkal University. She has written 7 books, 126 national and international papers. She has supervised 1 DSc and 17 PhD scholars. She has carried out research as DAG Fellow under Indo-German exchange program at Heidelberg University in Germany during 1989-90. She has visited many countries as university delegates such as Japan, China, UK, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Portugal, Norway, and many more countries. Apart from that,
I interrupt.
uh,
Please, we are
she,
running short of time. We are running short of time.
oh,
Only
okay,
10
madam, okay, that she
only
is
10
a
minutes and
successful
2 3.
successful administrator who managed the university very smoothly. Now, I would like to introduce our chief guest, Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate. It is very difficult to introduce such a towering personality. Still, I am trying my level best. Born in 1940 in the seaport city of Chittagong, Professor Yunus studied at Dhaka University in Bangladesh and then received a Fulbright scholarship to study economics at Vanderbilt University. He received his PhD in economics from the same university in 1969 and the following year became an assistant professor of economics at Middle Tennessee State University. Returning to Bangladesh, Professor Yunus joined as professor and headed the Department of Economics at Chittagong University. Professor Yunus is a social entrepreneur, banker, economics, and civil society leader. He was awarded the Nobel Prize, Peace Prize for founding the Grameen Bank and pioneering the concepts of micro credit as well as microfinance. Professor Yunus is the recipient of a number of international awards for his ideas and
Sir.
endeavors, including the Muhammad Sabedin Award of Science in 1993 from Sri Lanka, Humanitarian Award in 93, CARE USA, World Food Prize in 1994, World Food Prize Foundation USA, many more awards because of running the time. I have mentioned a few. Last, I would like to say that Professor Yunus also established a center known as the Yunus Center on Social Business in Dhaka, which is a think tank for issues related to social business, working in the field of poverty alleviation and sustainability. It is aimed primarily at promoting and disseminating poverty, disseminating Professor Yunus philosophy with a special focus on social business. Sir, we welcome you to this August webinar. Now, I would like to introduce our distinguished guest, Professor Achyuta Samant, Honorable Member of Parliament. Dr. Samant is at present the Honorable Member of Parliament. Dr. Samant received his MSc degree in chemistry from Utkal University. He is the founder of so many institutes like KIIT, KIMS, uh, and many more social organizations. He is a promoter of culture and arts through Kadambene Media Private Limited, an organization he founded. Apart from this, he is a member of University Grants Commission, Executive Committee member of All India Council for Technical Education, serving member of National Council for Teacher Education, and many more. Dr. Samant also received honoris causa award from many universities. I will just mention a few of them. He was awarded honoris causa uh, from Rashtriya Sanskrit Vidyapit, a Central University, Tirupati. Then he also received honoris causa from Hansio University, created new records in the field of social entrepreneurship. Dr. Samant has the credit of the Limca Book of Records as the youngest chancellor of any university in India. Sir, we welcome you to this August webinar. Now, I would like to introduce our guest of honor, Professor Sasmita Samant, President, Indian Commerce Association. Professor Sasmita Samant is currently serving as the Vice Chancellor, KISS deemed to be university. She is the Fellow of Royal Society of Arts, UK, Fellow of Computer Society of India. She has received 25 numbers of awards from different national and international organizations for her outstanding contribution to the field of education and leadership. She has published 30 research articles, 2 books, including one edited. She is a popular blogger, a voracious speaker, spoke in more than 200 academic forums as chairperson, keynote speaker, guest lecture, etc., not only in India but also abroad. Presently, she is the president of Indian Commerce Association as well as Odisha Commerce Association. Madam, we welcome you to this August webinar. Then I would like to introduce Professor Sachidananda Dehuria, our dynamic PG Council chairman. Professor Dehuria.
Professor Mishra, sorry to interrupt. Please keep. Please keep.
Okay, madam. Then
Point
I will
point.
just I will tell 2 lines about our honored guest, Major Dr. Abu Tahir, Secretary, Odisha Commerce Association. Mr. Tahir is a retired principal, BN Autonomous College, Vyasanagar. At present, he is the Secretary, Odisha Commerce Association. Uh, Sir, we welcome you to this August function. Just I will take 1 or 2 minutes to introduce the theme. Now coming to the theme of international webinar, navigating the COVID-19 pandemic, addressing the economic implications and launching a resilient recovery, I would say that it is quite attention-grabbing and more relevant in the COVID-19 pandemic era. As we know that the economic impact of COVID-19 is very alarming. No one has been spared of its ill effects. Economics of more than 100 countries have been shattered. Business across the globe have witnessed a major setback. India is not an exception to this. Factories, restaurants, malls, markets, supermarkets, flights, universities, colleges, etc. were shut down. Fears of coronavirus has virtually limited the movements of the individuals. Now, India faces a huge decline in government revenues since the coronavirus hits the economic activities of the country as a whole. The lockdown in India would have a sizable impact on the economy, mainly on consumption, which is the biggest component of GDP. The country is facing an extraordinary challenging time, particularly in this financial year. Hence, India needs urgently a mechanism to launch a resilient recovery of its economy. I will not take more time because of me the schedule is a little bit delayed. I will not take more time because many experts in the technical session will deliberate upon this issue in more detail. At last, once again, I welcome all of you and hope the outcome of this webinar will be constructive and fruitful to all of us. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Without much delay, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam Professor Madhumita Das, to have his inaugural address. Madam, please.
Namaskar. On behalf of Fakir University, I welcome one and all to this international webinar. This is not only a great occasion, but a very unique and special event for this university. We say that Tribeni Sangam means confluence. India, where three rivers, the Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati meet, is a sacred place for Hindus. With a bath, here is believed to flush away all of one's sins and makes one free from the cycle of rebirth. Today, a historic moment for the Fakirmon University because we have a Tribeni of Fakirmon Senapati, Professor Muhammad Yunus, and in place of Dr. Achyuta Samanta, we have Professor Sasmita Samanta. The university is named after Fakirmon Senapati, the father of modern Odia literature. Odisha was established as an independent state based on language. Fakirmon Senapati was a versatile genius who dedicated his life for Odia language. Similarly, we have Professor Yunus, a great leader who defined future vision. He is a social worker and social work is his passion, a drive to help others and to make positive, lasting impact on the well-being of others. I must congratulate Professor Sasmita Samanta, who has recently joined as the Vice Chancellor of KIIT University, and the slogan of KIIT is, it is hosting 30,000 KIIT tribal children and it means poverty kills illiteracy and literacy eradicates poverty. So,
Ma'am, sorry to intervene. We all should welcome Professor Muhammad Yunus because
okay, okay,
Sir
okay.
has joined us. I request you to welcome himself. All should have a
Okay.
big round of applause from their own place to welcome Professor Muhammad Yunus for his kind consent and gracing this occasion of this international webinar. This webinar has been truly blessed for your presence, sir.
Thank you. Delighted to be with you. Greetings from Bangladesh. Thank you. Good to see you.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Namaskar. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay.
You're
So,
speaking.
I was just talking about the Triveni. So, today we have a confluence of Professor Muhammad Yunus and also the founder of our university, Fakir Senapati, and we have Professor Sasmita Samanta, the Vice Chancellor of KIIT University. So, I express my grateful thanks to all the dignitaries who have joined, and my special thanks and gratitude goes to Professor Yunus. I thank also the Department of Commerce and all the entire team of Odisha Commerce Association for giving this opportunity to Fakir University. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your nice introduction about our beautiful and emerging university. Now I request, in a nutshell, Dr. S.A. Taher to have a very brief of his talk to this international webinar because we are all waiting to listen and Professor Muhammad Yunus. I request Professor Taher to have a brief introduction about OCA and about this webinar. Sir, please. Sir, please unmute yourself. Sir, please unmute yourself. Please continue.
Okay. Namaskar, respected Professor Madhumita Das, respected Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate from Bangladesh, respected Dr. Achyuta, founder of KIIT and KIIT, Bhubaneswar, and Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, respected Professor Sasmita, President, Indian Commerce Association and Odisha Commerce Association, respected Professor Sachidanand Deuri, Chairman, PG Council, Fakir University, respected Devi Prasad Mishra, and my dear Dr. Astabandhu Jena, the organizing secretary and other dignitaries. A very warm good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank FM University Authority and Faculty of Commerce and Management for organizing this international webinar on the subject navigating the COVID-19 pandemic, addressing the economic implication and launching a resilient recovery in collaboration with OCA. As the General Secretary of the OCA, I would like to say something about Odisha Commerce Association. This association was formed in the year 1970 in the GM College, Hon'ble, now the GM University, with presently of three basic objectives. One, to promote and popularize commerce education in the state with proper direction and guidance. Two, to promote and sustain creative research thinking in teachers and students of commerce and management. Third, to promote and strengthen the understanding the rapport between academic world and the business world. The core activities of the OCA include organization of seminar, conference, workshop, and meeting and providing technical assistance and consultancy and publication of books and journals. Presently, OCA is publishing a quarterly research journal, Odisha Journal of Commerce, which is peer-reviewed, referred, and listed in the UGC. The association offers both live members and annual members for the individuals and the institutions across the globe. Presently, OC has more than 1,000 members. In the March 27, 2017, OC has signed a memorandum of understanding with FM University for a joint organization of seminars and workshops. The topic chosen for this international webinar is a challenging one to present economic context. Our renowned delegates in the inaugural section and technical session will focus on this burning subject. Simply, I will like to say something on this changing economic scenario. तकाजा है वक्त का कि
May
तूफान
I
से जूझूं.
interrupt? Dr.
It is
Taher,
the it is
Dr.
the call of
Taher,
time.
please be brief. Please be
Just,
brief.
just I conclude my. तकाजा है वक्त का कि तूफान से जूझूं. It is the call of time to face the storm. तकाजा है वक्त का कि तूफान से जूझूं. कहाँ तक चलोगे किनारे किनारे. शुक्रिया, थैंक यू, नमस्कार.
Thank you, sir. We understand the paucity of time, so we also have the sessions tomorrow. So I now request one of the iconic figure in Odisha. First, we all should congratulate Professor Sasmita for taking charge of the Vice Chancellor of his university, one of the promising and transforming institution, redefining humanity and humanitarian values. The kind of ethos KIIT transmits to the whole globe, it itself shows what kind of generosity the leadership has displayed, and it must translate into a crystal action. And we understand and we value that under the tenure of Professor Sasmita Samant, the university KIIT will definitely achieve greater heights. So we all welcome you, ma'am, to a new leadership position, and also we pose our nascent hope of infusing your insight in rebuilding the institution to a greater height. We welcome you, ma'am, to this international webinar, and understanding the paucity of time, I also request you to brief your speech in this August gathering. Madam is also the president of Odisha Commerce Association and also president of Indian Commerce Association. Welcome you, ma'am, to have your speech. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sarada. Namaste, most honorable chief guest of today's evening, Professor Muhammad Yunus, the Nobel laureate from Bangladesh, for whom we all are anxiously waiting to listen from him. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Fakir University, Professor Madhumita Das, all the revered speakers of this inaugural session, Professor Misra, Professor Devuri, Professor Jena, Professor Taher, and all the esteemed delegates, the speakers will be speaking after this session. Of course, today we all are talking about bringing resilience to the society after the COVID pandemic. I say that all having one person today with us who thought about resilience before 2 decades, who thought about bringing resilience in business, in society before 2 decades. He is Professor Yunus, who has redefined the definition of business. Being the student of commerce, being the student of business, particularly while we talk about business, we talk about profit. But while he talks about business, he talks about human values, he talks about humanity, he talks about care. And in that, perhaps his innovative thought, his execution of that thoughts into reality, and involving lakhs of poor, even lakhs of beggars in the microfinancing system and helping them to become successful entrepreneurs. While he defines that each one of the human being is having the born intellect to become successful, and each one of the human being is having the born intellect to work on their talents and become entrepreneur. So with that belief on the human values, he has demonstrated, he has set lots of example to the world. So because of his innovative work, even in the field of business and economics, while we talk about the business and economics, We talk about money, we talk about the physical gain, whatever we are getting through that. But he has just transformed that concept and he has sown to the world. And with that concept, today we are very proud that business, in the people in the business, we are very proud that business is not about money. Business can be about adding values, adding the growing in the field of compassion and humanity. He defines business as the growth process. So I once KIIT had got the opportunity to get Professor Yunus in the campuses of KIIT and KISS, and we are very happy to listen to him. And I was very fortunate to read his book 3 Zeros, what he had offered to us in that campus. Our honorable founder, Professor Dr. Achyuta Samanta, who was supposed to join here, but because Parliament started at 3 o'clock and he had to present some issues, so he is not present here. But he has conveyed his respect to Professor Yunus, and he has conveyed his best wishes for the webinar to Honorable Vice Chancellor and all the delegates, the speakers present here. Of course, we all will be speaking again tomorrow. So today, with respect to the chief guest, I request him, and I also sincerely wait to listen from him, because being the researcher, being a student in leadership, I always work in the concept of leadership with humanism and compassion. That's my area of interest. So I hope that I will be getting lots of direction and guidance from him. Thank you, sir, for being present here on behalf of Odisha Commerce Association, the association which is working a lot for developing an ecosystem in the state in the field of commerce and business. And all the members of this OCA family will be finding all are very enthusiastic and very much focused for the growth of the business, not only the business ecosystem in the state. As such, all the professionals, all the learners, all the scholars will be getting the platform to contribute, to experiment their talents and earn their livelihood and get success in their lives. So thank you, sir. Once again, namaste to you and all the best wishes, all the organizers for the seminar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Many thanks, ma'am. Now the opportunity has come. Fakir Mohan University has been blessed by the presence of Professor Muhammad Yunus. Sir, it is your highness and gesture that you have accepted our request and made yourself available for this webinar. When we have gone through the profiles, we found the life of Professor Muhammad Yunus is an inspiration for everyone and the generations to come. From Bangladesh Liberation War to institutionalizing the philosophy of microfinance and microcredit and small loans for the empowerment of the small communities, it has become a great journey, and we all are eagerly waiting to listen that Odyssey, which has created this philosophy. So as a banker, as a social philanthropist, as an economist, and as a creator of institution, as a statesman, we welcome you, sir, to have your address on this auspicious occasion. Welcome, Professor Muhammad Yunus. Sir, please.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. It's a wonderful occasion for me to meet you all. I was looking forward to it. When I first received the invitation, it didn't take me much time to decide that I want to join you, because I was very eager that I meet more people in Odisha. It's just our neighbor. And I was attracted to Odisha because I have been visiting KIIT University with Professor Samanta. He has been inviting me again and again. So I became very familiar with many people there. So I thought, why shouldn't I get familiar with Fakir Mohan University also? So I thought this is a good occasion. It's a good way to interact with you, with your students, and your friends around. And I'll be very happy to keep in contact with you and make sure that this relationship that we develop today grows, because we have a common goal of making sure our young people grow into something which is meaningful for them and meaningful for the whole world. So whatever experience we have, we want to share with you and with your students to see why we did that thing, we have been doing and what it means to us. And you have mentioned, and Sasmita and Samanta also mentioned about the microcredit, how it started in Bangladesh, and how it grew and became a bank and called Grameen Bank and spread all over Bangladesh. Everybody said it cannot be done, that we never gave up just because it is said it cannot be done. We said as long as it works, we'll continue. The day it collapses, we'll see what happens. So we will not be scared to walk away from it. So we will continue to do that. And it was something that a commitment that we made to the people in the village next door to the university campus, that we can bring financial services to them so that they don't have to become victims of loan sharks. You know, everywhere in the world, people in the low income level, they become victims of loan sharks. And it's a horrible thing, the way they are victimized. And that's exactly what is happening around the university where I was teaching, Chittagong University. It's located right among villages. So it's in the middle of the village. So it's a beautiful campus. But as soon as you cross the campus line, you are in traditional village. You have extreme poverty and all the other things, including the loan shark. So that was our beginning. And I started with taking my class, taking my students with me to see, meet people. I said economics is meaningless if you don't know the people you're talking about. So you have to see people. So no matter how much you know, you figure, oh, I know my family is like that. Family is one thing, but looking from a distance to see how they look as a together in a village life, how they spend their time day by day is very important. And get integrated in their system, get integrated in their problems, and try to see through their eyes how they can fight these problems and so on. So that was the essence of the whole Grameen Bank. And when people tell me or ask me, how did you design this bank that works for the poor people? Because all the banks keep telling everybody over years that it cannot be done, banking cannot be done with the poor people, because they will take the money and never pay you back, because they will say, sorry, I cannot pay you back. I have to eat, I have to survive. My survival comes first, and then you can do whatever you want. And as a result, it's impossible to do banking with the poor. So I said, okay, we'll try. So if the loan shark can do something and carry on and expand their business, there must be something in it which may work. So I started lending money from my own pocket. That's how it all began. And then I brought my students to help me to reach out to the women, because as a man, I cannot go to the women. So I brought the girl students with me to go and talk to the women in the village. So that's how it began. So the point I was making, how do you design this? I said, well, ultimately what we did, when we look back, we can see it almost clearly that it was easy for us. It was not difficult. It's not a big research project or something. It's a very concrete, practical thing. What we did, we learned a lesson and we followed that lesson. We said we look at existing banks, conventional banks, and try to understand how they do it, because we don't know anything about banking. So we try to understand how they do each piece of this banking. So once we learn how they do it, we just do the opposite. If you go one way, we go the other way. And that's how we got to the poor people. That's how it worked. They go to the rich, we go to the poor. It's exactly the opposite. They go to the city, we go to the village. They go to the city center, we go to the remote village. Not just a nearby village, we go to the remote village. So we make everything different, opposite. They go to men, we go to women. And you know that the main bank, which has 9 million borrowers right now, 97% of them are women, always women. And we made a decision that in the beginning, we made a decision, half the borrower must be women. Because I was criticizing the banking system, that it not only denies money, denies financial services to the poor, it also denies financial services to all women, even the rich ones. They don't go anywhere near them. Not even 1% of their borrowers are women. So I wanted to make sure I do not repeat that. I did the opposite. They have 1%, we made it 99%, 97%. See, opposite. They want collateral. See, if you go to any bank, if you want to borrow money, first thing they find out how much you have, how much resources you have, how much land you have, how many house, what business you have, what kind of house you have, so that they can weigh you, they can find you, it's your worth. Only against your resources, against your wealth, they will give the money. So that if you, the idea is if you don't give the money back, they will take the wealth that you possess, so that they can never be on the losing side. Right from the beginning, we just dropped the whole idea of collateral. We said poor people have no collateral, so now you don't do anything with collateral. So we did this banking system which doesn't have any collateral. So I'm describing it. It's all about defiance. We define the rules. We define the norms. Everything is to be different. And not only different slightly, we made it extremely different, meaning exactly the opposite. So that's what is still the same thing. Wherever you hear about microcredit, microfinance, that's how it is done. And then something else. People do business to make money. We decided we'll do this business not to make money. So again, a reverse. And that became a very important part of our life. And I'll tell you quickly later on how it became part of our economic theory now, the economic theory that we propose should be done. And you have already pointed it out without saying so exactly what I said, that how humanity has to be into business and so on. But how do you reflect that? I said economics has misinterpreted human being. The interpreted human being is someone who is driven by self-interest. That's the core of economics. It's driven by self-interest. In the process, we are teaching our young people, we are teaching our colleagues that if you want to be in economics, you have to be the person that defined the economics, which is self-interest driven, meaning you have to be selfish. I said selfishness cannot define human being. Human being at least has two aspects, if not more. Is driven by self-interest, is as well as driven by collective interest. Economics dropped the whole idea of collective interest. Economics has nothing to do with collective interest. So I even challenged by saying that why do you call economics a social science? There's nothing social about it. At best, it's a business science. You have nothing to do with people. You're not concerned about people. You are concerned with profit maximization. That's a theme of everything. So I said, once you recognize both self-interest and collective interest, then the economic become completely different. Then you need at least two kinds of business. One business to support the self-interest, that is the profit maximization. So you create business for profit maximization, which you already have. Then you need another kind of business to support your interest of collective interest. So how do you support the collective interest? Then you need a different kind of business. Business to solve people's problems, solve common problems. And that is a new thing that we are introducing without any intention of making any money whatsoever. In one business, you want to maximize it. The business that we are suggesting, we simply say zero. It's again in reverse. Maximization to zero. So we call it social business. A business to solve collective problems, to solve human problems, without any intention of gaining personally. You don't gain personally, the society gains from it. So one is for gaining myself, one is for gaining everybody else. So one is a profit maximizing business, conventional business, other one is social business. We made microcredit as a social business. When microcredit is spread around the world, some people took this idea of microcredit, want to make money out of it. And when it came to India had both kinds of experiences. One is a social business microcredit, another business to make money. So they are following the path of the loan sharks. So microcredit became a tool of the loan sharks. So they blame microcredit is killing people, charging high interest. Yes, because They misused, abused. So this is the true direction. So everything that we have been doing is within the network of that. Now coming to Corona pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, I would make some quick comments on that. And one of the comments I would like to make, it just about it made the whole economic system collapse suddenly. It's unexpected. We heard about depression, we heard about crisis and financial crisis and all of it. We never heard of the entire machine come to dead stop. COVID-19 made this whole system come to dead stop. It doesn't function. And in the process, seeing that after the whole world goes to the dead stop position, we see something very remarkable. All the weaknesses that we have in our society, all the weaknesses that we have in our economy suddenly came out very vividly. It became very visual. We can see it completely. First thing we saw, everybody saw, the moment it stopped, we are asked to go home, stay home, social distancing, no contact with each other, no business, roads are empty, offices are empty, business houses are empty, everything is empty. So that's something new. What happened? Countries like Bangladesh, India, they became very vivid. People who are hanging by the nails in their life to make a living, we call them informal sector people, who make a living by earning every day. They sell things on the street, they sell things in the shops, they make things, handicrafts and so on. Suddenly, their nail collapsed, they fell. They couldn't hang on to their life anymore. They are in millions globally. They are in billions. Suddenly, they have no income. They have no livelihood. They have nowhere to go. And that's why you saw the migrant workers, all the television that was covering from India. There were millions of those people walking miles to go home, to make a living for themselves, because wherever they are staying, in the cities, in the inner cities, in a very terrible way, in the slums and so on, suddenly they cannot pay the rent, they cannot buy the food, they have no way to sustain themselves. So the only place they could think of is to go home, whatever that home is, wherever far, far away. It may be Odisha, it may be the other places, coming from Bombay, coming from Delhi. They are going to home because that's the home they have. So they were coming. The simple question anybody should ask, raise in that situation: why did we create an economics where people to find livelihood, just a survival livelihood, 1,000 miles, 100 miles away from home? Why couldn't we create it right where they live? What is the problem? Is there something terrible that we cannot create it right where they live? Because economists didn't care. They said, well, it has to be the city, you have to go to the city, city is the one who will have all the infrastructures, and you build the city. It is city-centric economics. I said, to begin with, that's a wrong thing. It should be people-centric economics, not city-centric economics. Wherever the people live, we have to build economics around them, not pushing them in one place in a terrible living conditions and so on, making their air quality go poorer and poorer every day, and making people denser every day. That's not what economics is about. Economics is about building life where they are. I said, now you can even think that why are we doing this stupid thing that we have to send all our children to go to the city, to work there, to have education there, and so on and so forth. Why did we do that? Why couldn't we have universities right in the middle of the city, right in the middle of the village? What's wrong with it? There are many universities in India, particularly, right in the middle of the villages. And I gave you an example of Bangladesh. I come from right in the middle of the villages. We had no problem. Rather, we came very close to the people's life. If Chittagong University, where I was teaching, was in the middle of Dhaka city or Chittagong city, my competitors would never have born, because I would be, or me, somebody like me, would not go to the village to try to find out what is their problem, how to resolve it, because they are too far away. They are villagers, they are different kind of people. They don't understand life. So that's not, people understand life, have academics and others people don't want to go near them to understand, to make it there. So this is one that we see that how to redesign the entire thing. One of the things that comes out quickly, that if you go the same way, doing the same thing, you always recreate the same result. You cannot get out of it. Go by the same path, same road, it will take you to the same destination. If you want to go to the new destination, you have to build new roads. You have no other option. So this is the idea that Corona has created. And that led to something else that we had to talk about. Can you listen to me? Is something happening on the screen here? As if sound went off. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, then I'll continue. I was just saying that one of the things that I raised the issue when Corona did that. I said this informal sector, it's about 70% of the people of India or Bangladesh fall into the category of informal sector. And economists say that we have no role to play in the informal sector. We have to bring them to the formal sector. They have to be in the formal labor force. Then we can pay attention to them. I said, that's a very funny situation that you have to bring it to the formal sector. I said, it's literally what we did, we misunderstood the whole thing. I said, we should recognize them as micro-entrepreneurs. Once you recognize them as micro-entrepreneurs, then economics can have lots of things to do as a micro-entrepreneur. Now, if they are all micro-entrepreneurs who lost their job, who lost their livelihood, lost their survival profession, and so on. So if you recognize them as a micro-entrepreneur sector, then the first thing we would have understood where does the money come from? Because every entrepreneur needs money to do their business. And without money, there is no business. The money is the fuel of business. So these people, if they are micro-entrepreneurs, where is the fuel coming from? Simple answer is it's coming from the loan sharks, because banks don't anywhere near them. So the loan sharks tried. The people work very hard, but the 90% of their earning goes to the loan shark, because that's the terms and conditions they work out, and that's how poor remain poor, and the loan sharks have a better life for themselves. I said, if you recognize them as micro-entrepreneur sector, the first thing you have to do is to create micro-entrepreneur bank, a very specialized bank like Gramin Bank, which works only with the micro-entrepreneurs like Gramin Bank. And micro-entrepreneurs are both men and women, both young and old. Micro-entrepreneurs is not just men. They are both young people, they are old people, middle-aged people, both men and women. Women do extremely well as micro-entrepreneurs. That's how we have been doing it the last 42 years with the women. And success after success it comes. And whole Bangladesh changed because of this women. Because they transformed Bangladesh completely because we have reached them. So we have to create that micro-entrepreneur bank. That bank doesn't exist. If you go to the bank, any bank that you see, any bank that you know, will not do the things that we do. Exactly, I was explaining all the rules and procedures, not the signboard of the bank. It's the how you do business with the people. So you need a micro-entrepreneur bank, and that bank has to be social business micro-entrepreneur bank. It's not profit maximizing micro-entrepreneur. If you make it profit maximizing micro-entrepreneur bank, then they become loan shark. They want to make money out of it. So first of all, you have designed, you have passed a law, legislate something, to create law, to create social business micro-entrepreneur. Then things completely change. They don't need anybody. They know what to do. The only thing they need is money. That money is available. They can transform their life. Their children know as they grow up, they come to your school. They know you don't have to go to job, because they will come out of the school and they start their own business. In the meantime, when they are in school, they're already designing their business, already talking to the micro banks, say that how much money I can take, how do I do it, and there is no collateral in that. So anybody can go and his friends already have done it. Her friends already have done that. So they don't have to go to Delhi or someplace to find a job, go to some other big city, Bombay or someplace. Nothing like that. So this is one thing. At the same time, I keep saying, look at the labor, formal labor. They have been recognized by economists. That's why governments have recognized them as a separate category. Once government recognizes the formal labor, what they have done, they make laws, they make rules, rights and obligations, and their rights of the labor and so on. And they created a labor ministry. You see, every government has a labor ministry because they are and they deal with them as politically important for them. And they are only a small percentage of the total population. Formal labor is a very small percentage of the population. But there's a 70% of population which micro entrepreneurs. They have no government rules, government policies, government institutions. I said, why don't we create Ministry of Micro Entrepreneurs? So if you create Ministry of Micro, then you know what to do with it. You have to make policies, you have to make institutions like banking institutions and so on. Then situation changes. So Corona has brought us these things, aspects. The last one I want to make about the Corona, that it has been a very kind to us. It has created a fantastic opportunity for us by showing us what we are. One thing we see, there's a tremendous amount of eagerness, tremendous amount of rush to go back to pre-Corona world. Before the Corona came, whatever that world is, we want to go back there as soon as possible. We are trying to shorten it to go back there. And I raised a question, and I raised a question with you too. Why should we go back? What is there to go back? Pre-Corona world was a terrible world. That world was going to kill us. And that's what we were waiting for. We are almost like sentenced to death, and we are heading for the death in the period pre-Corona. Why? Because that world was a global warming world. All the global warming is getting worse and worse, and making sure within a couple of decades or 3 decades, this planet becomes unlivable. It's not livable for human beings. So is this the world we want to go back? It's almost like we are in a train, big train, very fast train, moving in a speed, going to the end of the world where our death is waiting a few years later. And we are rushing into that. Corona came, Corona stopped the train. When the economy stopped, that means that train has stopped. Now Corona has stopped the train. We can get off the train and look around and ask the question, should we go back to the train and go to the end of it and finish ourselves? Or, now that we got off the train, we never get back to the train. We build a new train to take us to a new destination where global warming can exist. And we can build that world. That's what the universities are for, how to build this world. It's possible because we know who created this world with global warming, who is creating the global warming. We know very precisely who is contributing every day to the global warming. So if you know who is doing the global warming, it's easy to solve the problem. Stop them not do that. And then the problem is solved. It's not only global warming, it's also wealth concentration. There's another problem the world is facing. Whatever you do, all the wealth goes to few heads. Almost 1% of the population of the entire world owns 99% of the wealth of the entire world. 1% owning 99% of it. So what happens to the 99% of the other people? They own less than 1% of the world wealth. So is this a world that we want to live in? This is a dangerous world. This is a ticking time bomb. It will explode anytime. And that's the direction we have to go. And the old world is just taking us there to explode. So why should we go back? It's a suicide to go back. And then that world is dangerous again because artificial intelligence is coming. And artificial intelligence will take off all our activities, all our professions. Professors will be artificial intelligence. They don't need human professors anymore because artificial intelligence professors are much smarter than that. And artificial intelligence authors are writing better books than human beings. Artificial intelligence sports people performing better than human beings. Artificial factory workers are doing better than human beings. So you don't need human beings anymore. it is cheaper and better. So get the human beings out of it. And that continues and gets all the people out of jail. See, is this the kind of world we wanted to be in? That we have removed ourselves, make ourselves redundant? And should we create a world where human beings are redundant by its own creation? It's taken over by somebody else? I said, we don't want to go back to that world. So I'm raising this issue with everybody. Do we want to go back? My answer is no going back. We don't want to go back. This is an opportunity created by pandemic. Just take this opportunity and design the world to go back to another world. A world, which I say, a world of 3 zeros. That's what Sasmita was referring to. A world of 3 zeros. 3 zeros is nothing. Just simply have sense of what the world that we are heading for. It will be reversible. It will be a world of zero net carbon emission, no global warming. It will be zero wealth concentration. There will be no wealth will be concentrated. Wealth will be shared. It's possible. We know how to do that. This is not something very tricky. It's a question of deciding our mind and creating those institutions to make it happen. And it will be a world of no unemployment. Question of unemployment will never address because we will not have artificial intelligence in that world. So that kind of world we have to. This is the time to decide. This is the time to kind of redirect ourselves into that direction. So this is the point that I wanted to make in the context of the pandemic. I hope it makes sense to you, but this is something that I thought would be useful for you. Thank you very much. I'll stop here. It's nice to meet you all. Very important that I made this contact with you. Thank you, Madam Vice Chancellor.
Thank you. Sarada? Hello? Thank you,
Yes.
Professor. Yes, Sarada?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Maximum 3 questions, please.
Okay. Actually,
okay,
we have got.
Can I ask the first question?
Ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Respected Professor, I have one question now.
Go ahead.
Pandemic. After this pandemic, we all have realized perhaps we have landed in an age where humanity is playing supreme, and each one of us, anyway, each one of the human being in this globe, we are realizing or we are introspecting ourselves and talking about humanity or realizing about humanity, that how humanity can transform this world. And coming to the business, now we all are realizing that community enterprises should be playing a bigger role in coming days. Mostly the community enterprises should be playing the bigger role. And the self-reliance India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, our Honorable Prime Minister is talking about for this country. I hope that it will also promote the community enterprises. But what will be the future of those community enterprises? Whether it will be all those community enterprises will be running as the micro enterprises, or it will grow as the bigger industries and grow as the MNCs, or the people will come together to establish the community enterprises in a bigger way. What do you think about that?
Let me give you a quick response to that. One is about the question of bringing out the humanity and mixing up with the businesses and so on. And that's what I was also proposing. And hopefully this occasion will bring it up. But if you try to mix everything under the profit maximizing businesses, this will soon be forgotten, because profit maximization is such a powerful instinct. It's like a addiction. You forget everything else. You will say a few words about humanity and all that, but ultimately what you want to make money. So what I'm suggesting, separate it out. When you want to make money, go ahead, make money, be responsible, be respectable to the environment and all that. But at the same time, create another kind of business where you don't want to make money, so that it's very visible. It's not mixed up. When it's mixed up, you make words around it and then you get away with all the wrong things that you do. So separating out is more important, easier thing. That's what I said, is the conventional business plus the social business. Same person can do both of them. So this is one. At the same time, Corona, as you said, it is bringing it up. At the same time, we see when you look at the Corona vaccine, what we see, again, extreme kind of selfishness. Selfishness translated into nationalism. Now, when coming closer and closer to the Corona vaccine coming up, all the rich countries buying up every single vaccine they could have. They have bought up some 2.5 billion vaccines right now. USA, UK, Europe, and so on. If only Europe and USA and UK can buy up all the 2.5 billion vaccines, what is left for the other people? They're so greedy, they want to keep it to themselves. They don't say, okay, we are buying it for you, for this goes for you, this goes, and this is for us. They are not sharing. The idea of sharing disappeared. So Corona didn't excite them into sharing part. They got into, again, a selfish part. They became tribal. They became tribal rather than multinational. So this is the danger part of it. We are suggesting we are suggesting two things. We are trying to get a United Nations resolution passed. We are lobbying around the world with all the governments to pass this resolution this month in the United Nations in New York to declare Corona vaccine as a common good, meaning it will not be owned by anybody. The patent of Corona vaccine will not be owned by any company. No company, no business interest can own the patent. And that will be the common good, meaning that anybody, anywhere can produce this. They don't need anybody's permission. They have to follow the regulatory rules that they have to be careful about the safety and security of the vaccine. But you can produce it. India can produce lots of vaccines by itself if the permission doesn't have to be sought for anybody. It doesn't have to be paid enormous amount of money to get the license to do that. So if the license is available, you can do it. You know, India has done that in the past when HIV/AIDS vaccine came, retroviral came. It used to be sold 30,000 rupees. $30,000 per person when it first came. Then after there was lots of struggle, lots of things to make it available to a few other companies, it came down to $3,000, from $30,000 to $3,000. Then the fight was to make a generic product. And then it came to $300. And when it became generic and India took it over, it brought it down to $3. See? Same medicine. Because you changed the ownership pattern and completely change it, because you're not controlling the pattern. Now only half a dozen countries, half a dozen companies, 6 companies like AstraZeneca and Sanofi, Moderna, and there's a half a dozen companies. They own all the vaccines of the world. Others are just nominal ones. Hopefully, other vaccines will come. So these vaccines have to be made common good so that everybody can produce it. This is very important. Another thing we're saying, we can create a social business pharmaceutical company. A pharmaceutical company which will produce vaccines not to make money, but to serve people so that they can get the cheapest way the vaccines they can be produced, because they're not interested in making money. So this is the initiative that we are taking right now. Thank you. If you can have one more question to get it done.
Yes, sir. We have another 2 important questions. So
2 important questions. Okay, make it short.
We understand the positive time. So one question is, can altruism is really going to sustain the social enterprises? I mean the altruism.
Altruism. Okay.
Altruism.
Yeah, got it. Can it sustain? What I said
Can it
is,
sustain?
yeah, sure. See, the way I say that is, as a human being, we are born with that. So we are born with that, the altruism part of it. That's what inspires us to being someone driven by collective interest. That's altruism, that we want to be helpful to other people. We are self-interest driven, we are also collective interest driven. So we can express both of it. That's why education becomes very important. when we discuss in the classroom to our students, if we keep on talking that there are two kinds of businesses, one is driven by profit maximization, another is driven by collective interest. It's a zero profit business. So they will be asking lots of questions. Why should everybody do this? How should it's up to you. You decide. It's up to you. If you do this, this is what happened. Today we don't discuss it. So only thing they know is profit maximization. Suddenly somebody says this is something, another one which is zero profit. This is lousy because our teacher always says profit maximization. You see, we brainwash the young people. They think the way teacher told them to think. So our thinking process has changed. And people have kept me asking, why should anybody be interested in doing social business if they are not making money? Making money or profit maximization is the incentive in the world. If you take out that incentive, there is no business left. I said, well, I partially agree with what you said. Only thing I'll say, profit maximization is a big incentive, but I will not accept this is the only incentive. It's a big incentive, but it's not the only incentive. Then they say, how come you say that? I say because to me, it appears making money is a happiness, maybe happiness, I don't know. Making money may be happiness, that's incentive part. Making other people happy is a super happiness. You feel very happy when you do something for other people. So that's what the incentive is. It's not because somebody has told me to do it. I want to do it because I want to be happy. After all, behind making all this money is a drive to feel happy. But you cannot measure happiness with money. You can have tons and tons of money accumulated for yourself, but you may be very extreme unhappy now. So what's the use of that money if money doesn't buy you any happiness? So so this is the kind of thing we will be discussing with the students. What do you want? You want happiness in your life, or do you need money in your life? So this is it. Or where are the sources of happiness? What makes you happy? Then we see, and then comes it's not altruism, is a happiness. That's what I will put in that. Thank you.
One last question.
Go ahead.
The MFIs, the microfinance institutions, are criticized on the ground of higher interest rate. So on loans, that makes it difficult to repay. Besides other good things that MFIs do. So in this context, what would be your opinion that how MFIs will sustain?
Yeah, I'll say two answers to that. One, if somebody feels this is too high an interest rate in microfinance, I will encourage him to start a microfinance with low interest. It's much easier rather than criticize that guy who does it. At least he's doing it. Now you're saying he's doing too high. Then you have an idea that it could be done in a lower interest. Why don't you do it? You'll be a hero. Everybody will love you because you have done microfinance, which is at the lower interest. So you have to demonstrate it. It's not just saying it's too high. So this is one part. Second part is, yes, there is high interest rate. And as I was explaining to you, when microfinance spread in India and other countries, the fundamentals of microfinance was misunderstood. I said our fundamental was we created microfinance as a social business. When it spread, some people took that microfinance idea to create loan sharks. So when you say it's a high interest rate, maybe they are loan shark microfinance interest. Because we are not distinguishing between the microfinance, which is a true microfinance, and which is a wrong microfinance, which is abused microfinance. So we are looking for the true microfinance. True microfinance should be social business. And social business, you don't want to make money. You want to serve people in a sustainable way. So this is the second part of it. Third part of it, if you look at the microfinance thing, most of the microfinance, almost all of the microfinance, they are not allowed to take deposits. So where do the money come from? They have to borrow from the banks. They borrow from the banks and then lend the money. So it's just intermediary. They borrow from the bank charge interest, and then they charge interest on top of it again to the borrowers. If you have simply allowed that microfinance can take deposit, like the government bank takes deposit, so we have no problem with money. we can give as much money people want because there's plenty of money coming at the place. We don't have to go to any bank. We are a bank ourselves. So microfinance institutions were never allowed to become an institution. Why? Because the law doesn't allow. So change the law. Make the microfinance institution. Give them the facility so that they can take deposits and then money. Then their interest rate will go down right there. So these are the reasons why things went wrong. Thank you. And that's will be the end of it.
Many thanks, sir, for
Thank you.
Thank you for replying. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam,
Of course.
cite the felicitation for our esteemed guest of this occasion, Professor Muhammad Yunus. Madam, please come in.
I have to come and visit your university soon.
You are most welcome, sir. I am really fortunate to read this citation out. But I remember also in 1971, when Bangladesh was a free country, the then Prime Minister Mujibur Rahman, he told our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi that Sikho Ami, Debar Kichu Nahi, Suju as a follower. So on behalf of Fakir University,
wonderful.
This is just an appreciation of love and affection for you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So kind of you.
The world has witnessed the birth of a new age, a new metaphor, and novel philosophy with your unique ideology. Your progressive beam of a hunger-free earth, relinquished vision of poverty, has been realized through your unstoppable endeavor in giving the ideals of microcredit, Grameen Bank, and Yunus social business global initiatives. Your lifelong dedication for social inclusion and empowerment has made you a legend in the golden history of mankind. Sir, your path-breaking fundamentals on microcredit has leveraged the poverty eradication as well as added accretion over the years. Your advocacy for peace and reconciliation has stood firm even in the ages of cosmic destructiveness and symbolized you as an angel of global peace. As an educationist, banker, social philanthropist, and a seasoned speaker, your global appeal has metamorphosed into a crystal reality with what the Nobel Committee stated, I quote, Yunus has, first and foremost, through Grameen Bank, developed microcredit into an ever more important instrument in the struggle against poverty, unquote. Your intellect has received responses from every quarter, reflected in more than 50 honorary doctorates from world's leading universities. Not as a social banker alone, as a great pioneer in Bangladesh liberation war. You have glorified the nation with your insight and involvement in building the national identity of Bangladesh. As a statesman and a student actor, your dignity has been magnified by the awards such as Raman Magsaysay Award in 1984, World Food Prize, International Simon Bolivar Prize, Prince of Mysterious Award, Sydney Peace Award, Peace Prize in 2006, and the most notable Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. On this auspicious occasion of the international webinar, we, the Fakir University family, seek your blessing for the growth and accomplishment in the coming days. We pray the Almighty to give you health, courage, and sanctity of moral thinking. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Yours sincerely, staff of Fakir University. To you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's wonderful. Thanks a lot. Thank you for the kind words. Okay, I'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, sir, for your generous gifts of time, energy, and your intellectual insights. We also invite you to Fakir University for for a meeting with our
teaching faculties and the students. Fakir
I'll
University
look
will
forward.
always remain interested.
I'll look forward to visit. Thank you very much again. Thanks a lot. Nice meeting you all. Bye bye.
Thank you.
And you are invited to visit Bangladesh too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
This is the beginning.
Now, without delay, I request
Hello.
Dr. Arta
Hello,
Bandhu
sir.
Jana
Hello.
to have
Hello,
his
sir.
vote of thanks of this inaugural session. I request the participants to remain silent. We are continuously
Hello, hello.
I request
Sarada,
Dr. Abhi Jana.
Sarada, I am audible to you.
Yes, sir. Please continue.
No, both audible and videoable to
Yes,
you.
yes.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Once again, I am welcoming to all of you to this international
Hello,
webinar
hello, hello,
navigating
hello,
the
hello, hello, hello.
COVID-19 pandemic, addressing the economic implications,
Hello.
and launching a resilient recovery. This webinar is being organized by PG Department of Commerce in collaboration with Odisha Commerce Association. COVID-19 pandemic has created
Hello, hello,
an
hello.
unprecedented
Hello, sir.
global crisis
madam,
and has infected
actually, madam.
Sir, is there issue?
Sir, please continue.
Yes. In more than 200 countries in cash 2020, under this situation, there are demand and supply, uh, and has also infected the shocks of many economies, including Indian economy, the world economy, as well as Indian economy got into hot water and are like the fishes out of the water COVID under COVID-19 19 era. Honorable Chief Guest Prof.Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate, Bangladesh, Chief Patron Professor Madhumita, Honorable Vice Chancellor Fakir University, Balasore, distinguished guest Dr. Achyuta, Samanta, founder of both KIIT and KISS, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and the Honorable Member of Parliament, Member of Parliament of India, uh, guest of honor, Dr. Sasmita, President of Odisha Commerce Association and President of Indian Commerce Association, Patron Professor S.N. Deori, Chairman PG Council, uh, our honor guest Dr. S.A. Taher, General Secretary, Odisha Commerce Association, Professor Devi Prasad Mishra, Head Department of Business Management, Fakir University, dear virtual participants, faculty members, research scholars, students, student friends, members of organizing committee. Now, we are all in seven wonders, whether the PG Department of Commerce or Fakir University or Odisha Commerce Associate. Let me first of all start by giving the glory to Almighty for making this international webinar into a resounding success. It's my privilege to have been asked to offer a vote of thanks. I, on behalf of the PG Department of Commerce, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Honorable Chief Guest Person Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Prize winner Bangladesh. Sir, you have motivated and encouraged academically with your kind presence and took the valuable time out of your busy schedule. Sir, you have highlighted the various issues and concern on the world economy under the COVID-19 situation. Thanks a million to you, sir, for your best wishes to achieve the mission and vision of conducting the international webinar. This is the objective of conducting this international webinar. First and foremost, today my words are not enough to express my gratitude. My most thank to Dr. Madhumita Das, Madam, who have highlighted the various issues on innovative teaching learning method, innovative improvements in curriculum under the COVID-19 situation. What exactly, Madam, you have highlighted. Thanks a million to you, Madam, for your best wishes to achieve the mission and vision of conducting this international webinar. I would like to thank to distinguished guest Dr. Achyuta, founder of KIIT, KIIT and KIS Bhubaneswar, an honorable member of Parliament. Due to the Parliament session today was started, so Achyuta sir did not give the time, and he has given the message for grand success of organizing this webinar. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank to our chief guest, Professor Sasmita Madam. You have uh, graced with your thought-provoking address set a perfect platform for our virtual participants for making more excellent and making this international webinar more meaningful and interesting. Honestly speaking, so we are also eagerly waiting your talk, and tomorrow you will have the plenary session. So definitely we will enjoy more and more. Thank you, Madam. It is the high time to extend the total thanks to Professor S.N. Devorisa for your kind presence in this international webinar with your gracious presence and enlightening the message welcome ourselves. So anyhow, Professor Devuri, you are one of my big brother. Thank you, sir. A big thank to honored guest, uh, honored guest, General Secretary, Odisha Commerce Association, S.A. Taher sir. You have highlighted the role and missions of OCA under this situation. Thank you, sir. With utmost pleasure, I must express the heartfelt gratitude to Professor D.K. Mishra, convener of this webinar. Its same introduction address was also very interesting and remarkable. Thank you, sir, for your topic introduction as well as the guest introduction. As we feel proud that the PG Department of Commerce has got the eminent, distinguished and recognized speaker with multi facets. They are all time academic research powers house and having with more than 100 forward personality. So, they are accepted our invitation to deliver the talks in our webinar. So I must give the special thanks to Professor Nikhil Chandra Sil, East West University, Dhaka. He has helped me a lot. He has, which Professor Nikhil Chandra Sil has helped a lot. I must not forget the thanks to members of organizing committee who have contributed a lot with the uncountable organizing international webinar into grand success manner. Last but not least, many thanks to technical support of KIIT University, special to Sasmita Madam. We need more and more such types of support in future also. I wish the fame and prosperity of KIIT University. Stay blessed, stay healthy, and have a beautiful and wonderful day. After a few minutes, we will start our the plenary session. So I will request, without getting any late, I request to Joint Organizing Secretary Dr. Sarada Prasad Sahu will proceed the plenary session. Thank you. Have a nice day to all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
spite of encountering an acute health illness, you have presented the note of thanks in this event. Now we will proceed for the technical session, plenary session. In this plenary session, upon our request, we have three eminent professors who have agreed to stimulate intellectually this August gathering. Esteemed Professor of Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata, Professor Ashok Banerjee, sir has also joined us. We welcome you, sir, to this international webinar. We also have Professor Anand Suryanarayan, sir has also joined us. He is continuing as the Director of College of Banking and Financial Studies, Muscat, Sultanate of Oman. We also have Professor Ranjan Kumar Bal, our all-time associate and an acquaintance and a mentor for Commerce Fraternity of the state. Sir has also joined us. Sir was, in fact, in the inaugural session also, he was present. So, without much delay, let me introduce Professor Ashok Banerjee. Sir is a pioneering scholar in the field of financial accounting, financial management, mergers and acquisitions, and restructuring, quantitative applications in finance and trading strategies. A product of University of Rajasthan University, and an